Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. Let's talk about cell phone towers and triangulation in relation to the murders in Moscow. 4 college students brutally stabbed inside a home during the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022. Police have made no arrests and are looking for a white Hyundai Elantra. Cell phone towers up in the sky. Do you think the killer, whether the killer is a guy or a girl, used their cell phone or had a cell phone with them around the time of the murders? There's actually a site you can look and see all the towers in the area based off all the networks too, the networks. And we're talking about cell phone providers, big boys there, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. There's others. But I want to show you something here, and then we're going to discuss further. I'm going to show you a map of all the cell phone towers in the Moscow area. Check it out. This is a site called cellmapper.net, and you can put in service providers. It can tell you all the cell towers for the service providers. For instance, right here, this is T-Mobile, and we're going to zoom in. This is in Moscow, and the home, the King Avenue home, King Road home right there, 1122 right there, and zoom out. And you can see in Moscow there is 2 cell phone towers for T-Mobile. And there's one to the south of town. It looks like probably about 10 miles outside town. But there's only 2 for T-Mobile in the town of Moscow. And it looks like it's right off of Highway 8, just north. There's one here. And there's one right here. So 2 towers for T-Mobile. Let's check other carriers. Now expand out. There's actually one north, going north, a T-Mobile. And there is a bunch in Pullman. This is Pullman. Many, many, many towers. So you got 2 T-Mobile towers in for T-Mobile in Moscow. You got one to the south, one to the north. Let's expand out and see if there's any east. Troy. Nope. Okay, so yeah, basically is none to the east, one to the north, one to the south, 2 in Moscow, and a bunch west. This is for T-Mobile. Now I put in Verizon. This is Verizon. Looks like in the city of Moscow there is 7 Verizon towers. One to the south. Let's zoom in here. So the King Road address is here. Right here. 1122. Zoom out and we'll see where the Verizon towers are. So you see a bunch up on Highway 8. There's one. There's one on the University of Idaho campus right here. Gives information. You can click on it. I don't know about all these specs and what this all means. I guess it talks about different towers. Cell Tower 1, Cell Tower 12, Cell Tower 22, Cell Tower 32. Oh, look. Okay. So, looks like these areas will tell you, like, what these towers. This is Cell Tower 22, I believe. Oh, okay. Look. Cell Tower 22. Wow. Just south of Cell Tower 22. So, Cell Tower right here, bands 3360. This does the area. It definitely does down Taylor. When you go down Taylor. So let me see if there's one for this area here that covers this area. I'm not sure, but you could see the many, many Verizon cell towers. Let's expand out. None to the east. None to the east, but a bunch in Moscow. to try to pinpoint maybe who was using their phone around that time, 3 to 4 a.m., or if phones were pinging and moving around that home or away from the home, maybe that can help. So this is for Verizon. You can go take a look at it yourself. I'm going to do AT&T now, see what comes up with AT&T. And here is AT&T. There is a bunch of towers in the Moscow area for AT&T. You know, in the University of Idaho's campus here. Cell tower 8, AT&T cell tower 9, cell tower 10, 15. So they have cell towers here. So this is an interesting site that you can look. The Moscow home is right down here. It's right here, 1122. So you can look for yourself and play around and see. Looks like it gets this whole area here. I don't know what consists of this cell tower. Might be here that gets the area. But go play around with this if you want. If this is interest to you, kind of gives you an idea about the cell towers in the area, in the Moscow, Idaho area. Cellmapper.net. So many cell phone towers from many networks, the big boys, like I said, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, which is Sprint. There's probably smaller ones. But you would think that the authorities are cross-referencing and trying to triangulate who used their phone around the time, especially with a vehicle, right? They're looking for a white Hyundai Elantra. So let me ask you guys, tech people out there, tech geeks out there, people that know about cell phone technology, if the killer had their phone with them and wasn't even using it, and it was in this, say, for instance, the killer was in the white Hyundai Elantra and they were leaving the scene, would police be able to find out where phones were at the time, around that time, 3, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., traveling and moving about, and be able to try to pinpoint the killer that way? Like if you have your phone on, but you're not using it, can they still triangulate you? Or maybe the killer used the phone afterward. Maybe authorities searched this route? That's what I'm asking. Sometimes cell phone technology and cell phone tower data takes a while to get. You don't get that right away. Sometimes that requires subpoenas and court orders or whatnot. I know that the Latah County prosecutor, it's been reported, did like 50 warrants out there in reference to this case. I wonder if any of it has to deal with cell phone technology or cell phone warrants to get people's cell phone data. But I think when this case gets solved, which I do think, I think cell phone technology will be part of this, right? They're going to say that the cell phone was pinpointed this area at this time and stuff like that. What do you think? Do you think authorities are searching this route, this cell phone route? Kind of gives you an understanding. Go to that site that I showed. It's neat. It's interesting. If you plug it in, you can see all the towers in the area. But I do think cell phone towers might be the key here to finding out who the killer is. And if authorities did not search and go this route with the cell phone towers, shame on them. You know, this is your due diligence. I think the cell phone technology can share a lot. You know, it could probably pinpoint where this individual went, or did the killer stay around the area? I still think possibly the killer could be local, still around that home, somewhere close around that 1122 King Road. I don't know. What's your thoughts? Wanted to share about cell phone technology. Can anyone provide some insight about how this all works? I would love to read your comments. Share, please. We are discussing this case. No stone left unturned. Who did this crime? Everyone be safe. God bless. Justice for the victims. The community of Moscow. Everyone be safe.